muslin dresses with wide sashes of blue satin. Marjorie had written that Lucy was panting to meet me again. Our coach swung around in front of the arched and columned entrance of Owl Park. "Well, well," said Grannie Jane. "A royal welcome." The servants were in a formal line by the entryway, each facing forward like guards at Buckingham Palace. Marjorie and James waited on the flagstones next to the row of dark liveries and white aprons. Marjorie began waving with both hands. I pushed up the window to wave wildly back. Grannie Jane clucked her tongue and quietly scolded. "Your sister is behaving like a schoolgirl. No surprise that James's mother is attempting to adjust her deportment." We'd had letters full of woe about Marjorie's efforts to become a proper lady of the manor, and mostly falling short of her mother-in-law's high standards. "Only because I miss her," I said. "We've not seen her for nearly 2 months, since just after Mrs. Eversham's murder. I expect she behaves like a lady most of the time." I fiddled with the door handle the instant the coach came to a stop. Granny put a hand upon my arm. "Do not blunder down, Agatha. Allow the footman to assist. For Marjorie's sake, you must show that you've had a tiny amount of breeding." A man wearing dark livery, with a nose pink-tipped from the cold, opened my door from the outside. I flashed him a smile, used his shoulder as a vaulting pole, and leapt to the ground to be scooped into my sister's arms. James was right behind her, adding his arms to the embrace. Grannie Jane descended more gracefully than I had, and then Hector hopped down to be welcomed by Marjorie and introduced to James. Every person I liked best in the world, except for Mummy and my dog, Tony, were standing right here in a circle. Come in. Let's get you out of the cold," said James, giving one arm to Granny and the other to me. "Mother is waiting to greet you." "Must the servants catch their deaths on our account?" said Granny Jane. "Don't worry about the servants, Mrs. Morton," said James. "They come from hearty stock." Blue-lipped and shivery stock, I thought. As cold as penguins cast away on an iceberg. As cold as explorers seeking the North Pole. As cold as puppies stranded in a snowbank. "I know it seems barbaric," said Marjorie, "but it's been done this way for centuries to honour visitors. I'm afraid you'll find that we bump up against tradition rather a lot at Owl Park." The door to the manor was held open by a gaunt man in a fine black coat, who gazed somewhere over our heads. "Thank you, pressman." James led Granny in, as Marjorie slid an arm around my shoulder. "Please appear to be sweet and docile with James's mother if you can," she whispered in a rush, to fend off her snippy rebukes. I hardly listened, because we'd arrived in the great hall and paused in front of an enormous crackling fire to see how Christmas had already come to Owl Park. A yew tree stood in the centre of the hall, its boughs festooned with gold foil bows and paper cornucopias of nuts and sweets. Candles clipped to every branch burned like stars against the dark green branches. The Dowager Lady Greyson waited beside it, with an indigo cashmere shawl wrapped tightly about her narrow shoulders. She looked nearly as old as Granny Jane, with a long nose and a mouth pinched into a button. I'd practiced my curtsy all week and was pleased at how well I managed. But instead of a polite greeting, I found myself mumbling under her severe inspection. Hector, however, performed his expert bow, and Lady Greyson's face brightened as if she'd seen a butterfly open its wings. Lucy hovered beside her grandmother, trying to catch my eye.